Back again for another video. On this topic, we will discuss deception. So, in the Black community, most things are backwards. Actually, all things are backwards. From the women being in charge, to the men not, to the women having more opportunities for jobs and the men not, for the women to be more masculine than the men are. Everything that you can possibly think of in the Black community is backwards. That is the deception of the community in itself. The problem that we have with correcting the Black community is that we can't unilaterally agree on how to move forward with the correction, because we're going off of it being backwards. It's almost like trying to learn how to ride a horse. If you sit on the horse backwards, you'll never get the opportunity to ride the horse properly. You'll ride the horse, but you won't direct the direction at all. You're sitting on it backwards. That's essentially what we're doing in the Black community. We're trying to teach people, by large, unilaterally across the board, how to ride a horse, but we're always saddling people up backwards. I come to resituate the person, the individual, on top of the horse so that they are able to control it and go in the direction that they need to go in. That's my job, because I know that this job leads to the place that will save you. But nonetheless, everything is backwards. What I'm getting to, as far as understanding how men should address this and see it, is that sex and relationships are backwards in the Black community. Here's how. Our community is oversaturated and fixated with sex, and we have a low priority to relationships. Men are in charge of the relationships, and women are in charge of the sex. They are the gatekeepers for that, respectively. And in this, the way we address it is backwards. Due to the fact that we have been raised in a gynocratic system for the majority of the men that are here today, we are looking at things backwards, by large. Not everyone, but most of us. And that's the reason why we can't fix anything, because we're putting the ass of the horse first instead of the face of the horse first. What I mean by this is that we value sex more than what it's worth. And we don't value relationships as what they should be valued as. Since we are the gatekeepers, we think that everything that we have is not that important, and that what a woman has to offer is top pinnacle. We often say that there is a price for a woman's vagina, and I'm here to say that it is completely worthless if not used correctly. But most Black men don't understand that. Sure, it may bring you pleasure, but at the same token that is bringing you pleasure, it can also lead to longevity of pain. This indicates a problem with instant gratification. That's the consequences of instant gratification, which I may do a video on later. I think I've touched on it a few times before, but I think it needs a dedicated video. But nonetheless, the reason why it is backwards is because we're taught that that's the way it should be. Women think that their vagina is invaluable, that it is priceless. When it, in any situation, no matter how she uses it, is priceless. But that's not the truth at all. It's utter garbage when not used correctly. But men have bought that. We have bought the idea. What's the best way to separate a fool from his money? Let him be. Make them believe something that is not true. That's the best way. This goes no different from separating a fool from his power. The same thing. Make them believe something that's not true. I mean, we see it. We used to see it all the time. Fool's gold was a thing at one point in time because people believed that they had something of value in their hands and they were sold a false bill of goods. And they go to the place, they try to cash it in, and it's worth nothing. That's essentially what women have done to the black men in our community. They have sold them a false bill of goods that vagina is the ultimate prize, but it's not. A man's leadership and everything that he has to offer is the ultimate prize. Remember that everything in the community is backwards. So you have to always assume that what you're looking at is the ass end of things. But why would they do this? Why would they say that vagina is the thing that it is claimed to be? Because then they have a monopoly on the market, right? They can leverage everything against that and get it. If I have a product and I want to sell it, my first job is to convince people that they need this product, no matter how useless it may be. Once I convince people to give up their hard-earned cash for a useless product that I only sell, no one else sells this, I can run a monopoly. I can charge what I want for it, even though it is utterly useless. That's essentially what black women have done for generations after generations in the black community. They have told that their product is the best out of the two, meaning that their product of vagina is better than any relationship that you can have. That the gatekeeper position that you have is worthless. You've been fooled. This is not true. It is the complete opposite. The reason why they would do that, once again, is so that they have a monopoly in the community in dictating where things should go and who gets what resources and et cetera, et cetera. That's what you get to do when you fool someone that has something very valuable to give it up for free, because that's essentially what they charge you to do. Think about it. Everything in the black community, when it comes to the responsibility of man, we can write a book on, but we can't think of one damn thing that a woman should be doing uniformly across the board. Why? The reason why there is such a fixation of what a man should be doing is to take attention away from what should actually be happening. Remember, everything is backwards. You have to always keep that in mind. So when a woman tells you that your non-sexual tension is worth nothing, it's nothing but a gaslight. Why would she tell you this? So that you can give it away for free. Who wants to pay for something that is highly valuable for market ticket price? Nobody. Everybody wants a discount. And the discount is that I'll exchange you this fool gold for your money, right? I'll exchange you this vagina for your non-sexual attention. It's not an equal exchange at all, not even close. This started at a very young age for many men. The culture was pushed into position to put women in power to dictate the narrative of what was most important in the black community. Vagina, when that's not actually true. How do we get here? Once again, by generation after generation of iteration, that what's important is not important, and what's not important is important. It's gone so far that now the lie that has been told is now become fact in many people's mind. People speak on this as though it is fact. It's almost like a myth that started hundreds of years ago, and now people believe it when it's nothing but just a wives' tale or superstition. That's essentially what's happened in the black community. The superstition that a woman's vagina is the most important thing is the biggest lie that's been told, and the most damaging one, because it's created massive amounts of simps who are willing to have a battery put in their back just to get a piece of this fool's gold. when they are truly giving away what's most important to everyone. Your non-sexual attention is the most valuable thing that you have. Of course, you're going to be tricked out of it. It's like taking candy from a baby, right? You were taught at a very young age that your non-sexual attention is worthless, when that is opposite of the truth. All so that they can have a monopoly on the market, a competition of sorts, where they get to run and dictate the price of things, when in reality, it is complete opposite. So I implore you to not fixate on this, on the fact that you believe and many other people believe that sex is the most valuable thing that we have in the Black community. It's not. Your non-sexual attention is priceless. That's the reason why they went through so much effort and took so many years to convince you of this. If it was inherently true, then why did they need to go through so much to convince you it to be true? Wouldn't you just have come to that conclusion on your own? Of course not. This is why I'm here telling you the truth. Because it's beneficial to you. It's beneficial to the community. And that's another thing. You know, we call this a community, but it's only a community because the men participate. If the Black men were to pick up and move somewhere else collectively, there would be no more Black community. Because even if there's an influx of men that came into that community and filled the slots where men have left, those children that produce would not be Black children. A lot of people would argue that, but there's a lot that goes into that. I don't feel like getting into it at this point. Just check my older videos if you have any disagreements about it, I guess. But nonetheless, your sexual attention is the best thing that you have. You ever notice that a woman is always fixing for it? But the strange part is, if sex was the most important thing, then why aren't you concerned about it all the time? As much as women are concerned about your attention all the time. There is a lot of evidence around you that shows that what they're saying is not true. And what you have to offer is the most valuable thing in the community. If you look hard enough, you can see it. But anyways, talk long enough. Like, comment, and share. If you have anything to say, leave it in the comment section, of course. Or you can just email me, whatever. I don't care. But until next time, this has been a Wolf in Better Clothes. May you have a good day, and peace be with you.